when I see something, when I experience something in the dream world that is very precise, it's easy to bring it back because also the dream world there are some laws or some layers of the dream world that you can express. And so when you understand the layers and how it's built, then you can easily transfer it into this reality. So I just see the image, and if it's something like maybe like a scene that happened, maybe some a lot of actions are happening, then I try to portray like a bigger scene to try to capture everything. And most of the time, it becomes like a scenery where it's almost like a portal to project yourself into the dream world also, because they're communicating. So I'm just like the bridge between the two.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Creativity Worth Expressing. I'm your host, Ryan Anthony Hernandez, and today I'm here with special guest artist Arico. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm happy that you're here as a guest. And
Thank you so much.
to get us started, can you share with the audience what is your current form of creativity?
Wow. Yes, my current form of creativity is expressing myself mostly through paintings, sculptures, and immersive installations. And I really tap into the dream world, and that's my whole creative process is all based on the dream world and meditative visions I get from when I meditate. So it's all based on that. So it needs a lot of various ways to express. So that's why I touch a little bit of everything um, to create and to bring my visions into this reality.
When was it that you found a spark of interest in creativity?
Well, I think it was always there since I'm very, very young. I always was so curious about everything I see, especially in moments where I was in nature with my family, and just being curious about all the shapes and the effects of lights and shadows together. So this really triggered something in me that I really wanted to observe everything that I was seeing. So it was always there, and I think growing up was more about um, I could find uh, I could find in all these shapes and lights and shadows sense of what I wanted to be or to understand or to express. And so it came in a form of wanting also to just understand what I was living in my own human experience here on Earth.
And were there any like art pieces that maybe uh caught your interest, growing up, or any artists who really inspired you?
I was always attracted by Dali's work because he's also working with the dream world a lot. There's also Leonore Fini. And I went also to see an exhibition in Paris. It was Anselm Kiefer, and he was just a huge inspiration for my work because I could the pieces are so huge that you are confronted with something that is really bigger than you, and it just made me feel it made me feel something that I didn't felt before in front of an artwork. It was really stunning, and the impression I got was something that is still influencing everything I do.
When was it that you decided it's time for me to pick up my paintbrush and start getting to work?
I think it happened again very young because I really needed the I had the will to express very young, so I needed to just put it out there and let myself go into this creative journey. So growing up, I studied in psychology, and I did only 1 year. It was not for me. I really enjoyed what I learned, but I then went into history of art. That's where it also opened up so much for me for my creative journey, and I could find a lot of inspiration and just being in touch with all these artists, living or dead. It was something for me that was extremely precious in my own journey. And I just decided after I finished my studies that I would just become a full professional artist.
You didn't go to school specifically for art. You went for psychology and history, art history.
Yeah. Yeah, history of art. But then I took some classes with a teacher, with my father, and it turns out I stayed like years and years with that teacher. It kind of became like like he was my grandfather almost, because we were very close, and he taught me a lot. And at 21, I also wanted to learn the basics to really be emerge into this creative journey. So I went to Italy to learn the anatomy. I was in a month concentrated in Italy to learn the anatomy in human body, to draw it. So we were drawing all day, and it was like my first artist journey abroad.
Was there ever like any obstacles in your mind saying like, man, I'm doing all these damn anatomy all day. This is not what I wanted, or is it exactly what you wanted?
I think it was exactly what I needed. I didn't
Mm.
expect really anything except learning. So I was there for that, but it was really, really hard. It really made me work on my patience, because it was super long hours working on a small, very small part of a body. And it was really really something, because sometimes I would sense that the teacher was behind me looking at my work, and he just came one time and he just erased everything that I did for like I spent like 3 hours doing that detail. But of course it was not good, so he erased it, and I was like, wow, okay, yeah, it's gone. And then
Oh
he
man.
explains how to do it properly. So that's the best way to learn, I think. So it really worked my patience, and also to not be attached too much to what I was creating. It's just like something that we do, that we transfer, that we emit. But it's not something that you have to really like keep for you.
Mm.
So it's once it's there, it's all there, it's open, and it has to be shared.
In this part of the timeline, you're currently in Italy and you're there for was it 1 month?
Yes, 1 month, 1 month and a half, because I took also 2 weeks to explore. But
Okay,
yeah.
of course. I hope you had some gelato when you were there.
Oh yes, I did. I did. The coconut and the pistachio is really the best.
So from there, where did your art journey go next?
Mm, After that, I pursued my classes with my teacher, and he learned me about perspective a lot, and he just encouraged me to really express. So it was a free space, totally free space, where I could just let it all out.
Mm.
And it was also very amazing to share that with my father, because he was also learning and he has this interest into creativity. But yeah, after that, after the classes, I went to study the history of art. I finished my studies, and then I was just like, let's go, let's create. I have this urge, I have this feeling, I have everything that I basically live in the dream world that I wanted to express, and was just there waiting. So I had no other choice. I just followed my heart and I jumped all in.
So this whole time you're doing your training, but you also you knew already. Did you know already that you wanted your art to be a capturing of the dream world, meditative world? Did you know that the whole time?
I think when I first started to explore, I was really more into the human body, nature. But then when I realized that I also wanted to express everything that I was living up there, um, it became a fast way to really express what I was living, and it was so a way also for me to understand everything that was happening out there. So it came fast into my process that I wanted to express things I was living in the dream world. Yeah.
And how did psychology perhaps influence your your art?
I think at first when I wanted to explore psychology, it was more about the unconscious state, because that's also where it's like the realm of the dreams, and that's what brought me to psychology. But what really also interests me is the way that the brain processes everything that we see, everything that we call reality. I was really interested in the distortion in the brain, and also how everything is so compartimenté. I don't know,
Mhm.
compartmentalized. I don't know if it's a word,
Yeah.
but in French it's compartimenté. And yeah, I really wanted to understand the process of the brain and the different states of the unconscious. And but yeah, I understood that it was more about the creation that I was
Mm.
attracted to. But in my whole process, I can of course apply some learnings that I had from there in psychology to my own process.
Earlier, you mentioned some painters who were very influential, like Salvador Dali and some others. Were there any psychologists or philosophers whose whose concepts maybe sparked some ideas in your head?
Yes, Carl Jung is was really really inspiring, and it's because he went really deep also into the dream world, the dream states, the archetypes of these states that we reflect in our own daily life. So yes, his works were very inspiring, and I'm still learning and implementing things that I find interesting into my art for sure.
How was it like when you started doing it, like full time? Like, how did it feel?
Oh, it felt like just a big feeling of freedom, feeling of that nothing else really mattered, because at that time, because I could just express and let myself all out, parts of myself that I didn't address before. And so it was really healing for me, and it was a way to just put out there everything that was happening, no matter what, if it would be understood, if it would be seen. It was just a way to materialize everything that's happening elsewhere. So it was yeah, very healing for me.
So now in this part of the interview, I would like to explore um, the works that you've done and your nocturne visions. Can you like share with us what is the process of nocturne visions and how are you able to translate it from your dream state into onto the canvas?
Yeah, well, I think these nocturnal vision, they happen when they can happen anytime, basically. Since it's there, since I'm very young, since my childhood, as young as I can remember, I was dreaming and remembering my dream, and also some energetic things were happening around me, and so it was always present. Then growing up, I kind of dimmed this access to the dream world, because I understood maybe it was not that common, and at that time I didn't know really how to express and how to share with others. So at a certain point I was feeling more alone, so I kind of dimmed it, and then it's just like it's a part of you, so you cannot really dim it for that long. So it all came back. And when I really accepted that part of me, that I had access to this, and it's a universal access, everybody has access to the dream world and nocturnal vision and everything. It's just that sometimes we just tend to forget. And since it was there for me at a very young age, it was easier to really go in deep into that state. And so when it all came back, that's where I decided to bring it into my art, to express what I was seeing. And it just happened like, I think you need focus and discipline. And I started at that time like journaling about the dreams, the pieces of dreams that I remembered. So it really, really helped to bring back. So it's a bit like the more you nourish the dream world, the more it's gonna give you also. So so that's why I never stopped. I just was writing my dreams, and then I access other states, other levels of the dream world. And so it went on and on and on and on. And it can happen to anyone, really. It's just a state of mind. I say like it's turning on like the cosmic vision in you, and then it happens.
To nourish the dream world, do you take like sleeping pills or like melatonin, or what is your process for that?
No, I don't take anything. No, but I think it's, yeah, you can actually ask the dream world to receive more from it and to unlock this part of you, because again, it's accessible, it's universal to every living. And so there's no really a process, but I tend to kind of not to look too much at the phone before going to sleep. I kind of put myself a bit in a meditative state before going to sleep, so I can also just be relaxed, really calm, and have a nice environment also when you sleep. It's important to really travel easier.
So to put yourself in a meditative state, like do you is it like a practice of the breathing, closing your eyes, or walk us through what that looks like for you?
I always like take a deep breaths. You close your eyes. You can start to imagine also. What I like to do is, yeah, imagining some shapes. It can be like a cube. It can be a triangle, a sphere, that you create in your mind, and then you kind of modify it with your own imagination, and then you go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then at a certain point it's like almost you go through a tunnel of light and shapes and like sacred geometry and everything, and it all moves, and you go through that tunnel, and you see like a certain, it looks like an iris, but a glowing iris, and you go there and then you fly away. It takes openness, and it takes you have to be ready and in a good state of mind.
Okay, so I find that very interesting that you don't just go through the tunnel. I mean, in this meditative, in this, I guess, state of mind, but you started out by saying just starting off with an object, a shape, a sphere or something, and then from there you're adding and growing and growing, and I find that very fascinating. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, it's kind of a way to you put a shape in your head, so it kind of cuts also the exterior, because your focus and your vision is put on that object that you create. And the more you do that, also the more you can make more complex shapes also. And so the access is quicker and faster. But yeah, it's a way to cut everything from the exterior, and then you let yourself go. You start imagining and seeing other things that adds to that shape, and then it's like a vessel, and then you go through the tunnel.
When did you start applying this process?
Very young, very young. As long as I can remember, I would see this tunnel and these shapes. And I think what was really helping also with when I was young is with my sister. Like we had our two rooms separate, but the wall was in between the two rooms, and our beds were like kind of on each side of this wall, and so we could hear each other. And we would also say to each other before we went to sleep, we were like, okay, tonight let's dream about a big monster with orange dots and purple fur. And then we, from there, just having something to dream about, even if you don't dream about it, it was just like triggering something in the dream world that you access to. So we were we had this little tradition with my sister and my parents when we were going to sleep, really like um there was a little bit of playfulness, and then our parents come and they're just like shutting the lights and putting a blanket and just having a little routine before going to sleep when I was really young just helped to convey this space for the imagination to just flow. And telling with my sister what we would dream about was already something that we really wanted to dream about that. So also the excitement of dreaming, of going to this place, I think for me it just opened up the whole dream world.
Yeah, it sounds like you had many adventures at night going in this
Oh
dream
yeah.
world and
Oh
with your
yeah.
sister and everything.
Yeah. It's like basically living another life.
Okay. So now for this part, like for your naps, like would you be like Dali, where I know he liked to get I think there's he had a practice where he would take siestas and he'd wake up and boom, he'd have his idea for his next creative project. Are you similar or far from that?
I am similar in the way that sometimes I also understood that when you sleep for not too long, but you go really in the dream state, and then you wake up at like a certain point that is marked. Like let's say you put in an alarm or something, that the dreams are still like they're really fresh and vivid in your mind, so you can have access to them and grab them before they go away. And Dali had this process of when he was sleeping, he attached a string to his feet, and there was a little bell, and when he was like moving or being doing something in the dream world, then it would ring, and so it would wake him up and he would write it instantly. So that's also why it's really important to write it so that it can stay. Because when you, I always say also, when you try to remember your dreams, it's important to not open your eyes in the morning right away. Like when you feel you're waking up, you just work with it and you really concentrate and try to bring back some images that you had before opening your eyes. So that's one of the trick. And yeah, I know that Dali had many ways to really remember. But yeah,
So do you also have a bell to wake you up or something?
no. No, but I have this really nice alarm, and it's kind of just really soothing. So it goes in some levels, and so at first it's really subtle, and then it goes higher, but it's like more like a music. So it really helps to come back slowly from the dream world. And so it helps this process that I was saying about just remembering some images, so you don't wake up also right away and it's gone. Like, so yeah, it really helps to have something that is more soothing and more like taking account of the fact that you are still there and you have to come back slowly.
Okay. Now you're awake.
Yeah.
When you go and you do you write, do you have like a notebook, a journal? Do you just get any paper, a napkin, or how does that work?
Yes, I have my little notebook right next to my bed, but also I really have a good memory, so I now I don't really need to write it right away because I also like to in the morning I take time to think about everything that happened. So I write only the big ones because
Oh.
sometimes I just dream about boring things like oh no, I missed my appointment and stuff like that. So this is not interesting. But but yeah, there's boring dreams and there's crazy astral journeys happening. So yeah, I tend to write the essential, the one that really stood out.
So with your writing, I haven't explored your writing. Like, do you think that you could perhaps one day, from what you've dreamed, form a story, maybe write a book?
Oh yeah, it's on the way.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah, it's on the way. And I started to assemble like major dreams that I had over the years. Um, and it's also a way to make it's kind of a map, an astral map of everything that's going on, and you can make links in between the dreams also because there's a purpose for that. And so the book would be also explaining every dream and how it affected my life in this reality, but it would also be like this kind of whole map of cosmic map, and it would be a way to express that. Yeah.
So the dream world affects your reality. Does the reality, your reality, our reality, does it affect the dream world? How does that work?
Oh yes, oh yes, totally. Both are really connected. So something that happened in the dream world will take a shape or form in this reality and vice versa also. It's really depends of your state of being, how you truly feel, that will impact also what you will receive from the dream world.
And so what you receive from the dream world and you put it to the canvas, um, can you share what that process is like? Because going back to your anatomy days, you have a model, but here with
Mhm.
the dreams, I mean, you couldn't go and take your iPhone and take a picture. I mean, now it's it's in your memory. So how do you tap into the memory like so well? Because I'm looking at your art pieces and they're just so fascinating. It is as if I am floating in the celestial realm, maybe I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's like you say, I don't have any camera to go there. Maybe one day, but also we don't really need it because it's everything we see here is also like I see the same in the dream world. Like
Mm.
my vision is, I call it the cosmic vision. So when I see something, when I experience something in the dream world that is very precise, um, it's it's easy to bring it back because also the dream world, there are some laws or some layers of the dream world that you can express. And so when you understand the layers and how it's built, then you can easily transfer it into this reality. So I just see the image, and if it's something like maybe like a scene that happened, maybe some a lot of actions are happening, then I try to portray like a bigger scene to try to capture everything. And most of the time it becomes like a scenery where it's almost like a portal to project yourself into the dream world also, because it's they're communicating. So I'm just like the bridge between the two.
Are there any emotions that come with the dream when you wake up? Like, is there happiness, sadness, fear, excitement, any of that?
All of the emotion, all of the range of emotions can happen in the dream world. I think the most one of the most beautiful and vivid feeling that happened was something about nostalgia. Like sometimes in the dream, you can also visit back your the places that you lived when you were young, or find back an object that you were attached to, and this feeling of pure nostalgia or pure like joy of having back this object that you attached so much importance is so powerful and extremely beautiful. Because sometimes I found something that I in the dream world. I was just opening a closet and I found like toys that I was playing with when I was young, and so this brings back everything that you are, everything that you experience. And it's just a reminder that none of this is really gone. It's always in you. It's just a way to remembering it and honor it. And so, yeah, these feelings are amazingly powerful.
So something I want to explore is your two paintings, A Whole World Beyond Two and Enki's Dream. And for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, of course, you're going to see the image here. If you're currently listening to this on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, well, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can switch over now to the video so you can see I'm gonna have the images here. So now, Arico, can you walk us through these two paintings? You know, how did you get this uh, dream concept and just the whole process?
Yeah, sure. So I'll start with Enki's Dream. Um, this painting is like a testimony of a lot of dreams that I had. It's like a peek in a series of dreams that I had, and also things that I saw in this reality. So Enki's Dream is part of a whole series that is called They're Coming. And it all started when I was in, I think it was 2016, and I saw a huge ball of fire coming down the sky. It was like in the morning. I had a party before, and I was just chilling on the terrace, and I was looking at the sky, and then I saw this huge ball of fire coming down. And then from then, I started to paint these balls of fire coming down, and it was a way to express the visions that I had about. External life, extraterrestrial life coming to Earth. And whether we believe it or not, I think it's a beautiful concept to think about something that is other than human um, coming into this Earth. And so it was a way to express also these lights coming and arriving on Earth. And then I had other experiences. What I would see, I call them some light beings. So it was a way to paint them and honor their presence, if we can say. And I painted a huge one the next year. It was extremely huge, and all these lights that are coming from the sky are kind of aligning in some some lines. They're just forming some lines on the ground, as it's almost like uh, when you see a plane coming down into landing strips. uh,
Okay.
in French, it's piste d'atterrissage. So they're like converging into a bigger light that is way further. And so that's what I painted. And Enki's Dream is one that is about these kind of spaceships that are hiding in the clouds. And it's like before coming on Earth, they're all there in the clouds, and they wait their turn to just land on Earth. And so that's what the painting was expressing. And I kind of had this vision, dream. Um, I was in myself in a spaceship, and I was looking at this view, seeing all other spaceships around, kind of hiding in the clouds, but we could see the light coming out of it. And so they were all aligned in the clouds, and that's the view I had from my own ship. So that's what I tried to paint. I think I'm just simply in my own spaceship, and it's not because I travel often with a spaceship, but sometimes I'm on other spaceships also. I kind of jump and visit all kinds of spaceships. But I have my own for certain dimensions. And then yeah, it feels amazing. It feels like so refreshing because you're just flying around and the movement is different than a car. It's really more smooth and it kind of moves like this and really like um it's comparable to the flight of the way a dragonfly flies.
Now let's go to a whole world beyond too, because this is a it looks totally different, but it also looks very fascinating. Can you walk us through
Oh,
what that was like?
thank you. Yes, this one is from a series I started last year in Miami. I was 2 months in Miami, and I started this series because it's kind of I wanted to show kind of the veil. There's a veil in between this reality and other dimensions, and I kind of wanted to show a certain way to see things where you can where you can travel by yourself through this veil, through this kind of grid. And so I wanted to show something that looks a bit like reality, but also a total other dimension where everything is different. It's like all this series are some portals to get to another dimension. And so I did A Whole World Beyond 2. It was the last one of this series for now. I think it's going to be a series that is growing. But I did this painting at the very end of my trip. Then I was coming back to Montreal, and this one was like about a light that was coming up and then spreading all over. And it was like layers and layers of dimensions also that I wanted to express. So it's many, many, many layers, a lot of water also, and it created this kind of result. And then I came back to Montreal. It's a whole story.
Yeah.
I I came back to Montreal, and I was doing a live painting during the eclipse. There was the full eclipse in Montreal. We could see it fully, and I was painting while it was happening, and the eclipse kind of opened up a kind of a whole portal, and I was supposed to do. I was planning to do a retreat in some magical place, and anyway, I'm gonna. It's a lot of details, but I was supposed to be somewhere right after the eclipse. Um, it's a magical place where um, I met someone, um, and I was supposed to go to that place to make a retreat, and then right after the eclipse on April 11, a few days after the eclipse, this friend that I had passed away, and the night after his passing, there were some a ceremony and some chants and um, beautiful sharings. I was not there, but one of my friend was, and she had during this ceremony she had this vision about a light that was just coming out and spreading like this, exactly like in the painting. And she was describing the vision that she had, and then I sent her the painting that I did before my friend's passing, and she was in tears, and she said that it was exactly what she was seeing. And so it's kind of a portal or a gateway that was open at this time that I tapped into, and she also saw it as my friend was passing into the other dimension. And so sometimes my paintings are kind of testimonies of things that are gonna happen or related to things that are gonna happen. And so this was one, a whole world beyond. It took a whole different turn in what I was expressing. But yeah, now it became like it's a bridge between this reality and other dimension where a lot of people were called to go. Like their work is now on the other dimensions, and that's where my friend is, and we're still communicating through the dream world.
What tools do you use? What sort of paint do you use?
I mostly use acrylics, also natural pigments more and more. And I do a lot with certain brushes that I really like, and also a lot with my hands. And I paint a lot with water also. I use a lot of water.
Okay, how about the drying process? Like, do you do any special drying process, blow dryer, or just let it naturally?
Just naturally. Actually, I started painting with oils at the very beginning, but then I kind of switched because I like to paint in layers, and the oil is really long to dry. So it was more, it came more naturally for me to go to acrylics. But
Mhm.
now I'm also working with I want to work more with natural pigments. So yeah, there's a whole process, but for drying, it's more about I just let it dry out there in the sun.
What would you say is like your favorite part of painting? Like, what just lights you up in the process?
Um, my favorite part, I think, is just starting to see the colors take shape in the image that I have in my head. When I start to see it in the way I see it there, then I'm like just it's just bliss because I it's a beautiful moment where I just it clicks, everything clicks. The vision I want to express. But during the whole process until it's finished, it's just a whole always a journey. There are some things from the exterior that can happen. I'm very messy also, so many things can splash, and then I have to restart or I have to work with it. I really don't like the whole process is like with a lot of different things going on, and so I think every step is beautiful, but also um, the most beautiful thing is when I see people resonate with it also.
So, is there a playlist for the painting? Is there?
Yes, I have a whole playlist that is made from all the Shazams that I do that I find is a good vibe. And it's a whole different, like there's country, there's rock, there's some 70s, 90s, 80s music, 2000 beginnings, and it's a whole spectrum of every song is like carefully selected to bring good energy and yeah, it's I can listen to that all the time, and I'm always dancing and but I don't have really like specific for everything. When I meditate, I just like to put some binaural sounds or very soothing music, but yeah, I just put the same playlist all over and over.
Are there any like top songs, like top hits that you have for your personal playlist?
Uh, I would say there's definitely the song from Men in Black, the theme song from Will Smith. There's also the song Mbop from the
Hanson?
Hanson
Yeah,
Brothers.
Hanson.
Yeah. Um, there's uh, there's so many. There are so many. But yeah, I could share some of them. and you you can share them with the audience. I can make a little list.
Something that I've experienced when I'm having fun is that the time flies so fast. It's like, where did the time go? Uh,
Totally.
for you, because we're exploring not only your art but also a bit of your own philosophy in this. You mentioned about like different dimensions, about different realms interconnected. For you, where does time go?
Well, it doesn't go anywhere because for me it doesn't really exist. So I'm just um I'm just flowing in this nowness. I'm really much in the now, and time is a way um to I go back to the beginning in like when I was interested in the whole brain processes. Like time is an illusion that helps people to really to really live into this reality. It's helping to regularize. I don't know how to say. It's another instance that we use to be on earth, but we don't need it. It's an illusion. It was brought to organize a certain way, certain ways of living, but it's all an illusion.
So like I wanted to go back to one of the dreams that you mentioned earlier. Because okay, like right now we're talking about the now, the nowness, being in that state of the now. You were talking about a dream where like for example, you open your closet and there are all your toys from childhood. Like it's in the timeline of this realm, this real realm we're in, that's in the past. But in your like in your mind, as you're seeing all these all of these toys, all of these things from your childhood, does it feel like the past or does it feel like now in the dream world? Does it feel like you're really there?
Oh yeah, I'm really there. Everything that I experience in the dream world, I'm living it like fully. So that's why also sometimes it's hard to come back to really be anchored here because so many stuff happen on the other side, but everything is linked together. And yeah, it's all happening now. It's like the way I see time is like I made a painting about that. It's like some, let's say, some bubbles of moment that are all converging to the light, to the now. And from a bubble to another, you can jump to a bubble where, let's say, you were 5, or jump to another one, let's say you were 77. But this is all happening at the same moment. It's not that it's you don't really change in a certain way, like you are yourself in every moment, and you can jump in all these moments if you want to explore things.
Wow, this is I mean, geez, I can't wait to read your book when it comes out. I mean, we just see how powerful the mind is and how far we can explore. It's not only exploring the cosmos and dimensions, but we can also see ourselves, shifting through time as if nothing with just the power of the mind, and then bringing it into the art world. Uh, I really have to say, thank you for bringing your art into the world. It could stay. You can keep it to yourself. You can keep it hidden, but you've chosen to express it through art. So
Mhm.
so now my next question for you is, because we've already explored your process, your music, your dance and movement. Um, do you have like a favorite tool, a favorite art supply that you love to use the most?
um my favorite art supply, now I'm working a lot with a sponge. I really like the texture it can create. Um also, like I sometimes paint with a toothbrush. It's really essential for me to use it when I create some stars. It's the best tool for stars. Um,
Toothbrush? Toothbrush?
yes, a toothbrush. Because I could, well, it's like you take the toothbrush, you put some white paint on it, and then you take another like a ruler or some kind, and you kind of bring it to you, and then it sprays like this, and it creates the best stars.
Are there any artists out there whom you suggest we keep an eye out for?
For sure, I have my whole amazing crew of artists that are working, that are amazing, that are just tapping in some beautiful messages. So definitely, I would say Patricia Doucet, um, Amelia Adouchi, also Emmanuel Laflamme. I would say Duval. Um, there are so many. Mireille Champagne. um yeah, it's a whole crew, and they're amazing people, such kind souls and so much talent.
For you, Arico, why is creativity so important?
It is so important because it's a way to help coping with everything that's going on in the world. It's a way to just understand better our human experience. Um, Sometimes when things don't make sense, then you can find like a safe place in an artwork, or it can trigger something in you that will make you understand more about yourself, about your own identity. So creativity is just like the heart of humanity, and everybody can be creative. That's also like the biggest power of creativity, is that it's accessible to anyone in any field, like, and we're all creatives, and we just have to tap in and do it, and just jump and create, because that's what humans do. And for me, more personally, it's a way to every artwork that I create becomes a way to tap into the inner technology that we a bit forget about. So the access to the dream world, to other dimensions, other kinds of ways of seeing um, what is all around us. It's there are portals for us to understand nature and be in touch with nature and in harmony with nature also. So that's what creativity brings, a comeback to our our own essence, which is of beauty and harmony and compassion.
Thank you so much. Now, do you have any links or websites or a place where people can find your art? And maybe someone might even want to purchase your awesome art. Where can they go?
You can find me on Instagram, definitely posting a lot there. So my handle is at arico.l, ELLE. You can also find on my website, www.aricote. It's like ARICOTE.com, and Facebook. And yeah, there are many ways to contact me. I'm all there.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Arico, and to those who are in the audience, go and check out the links. I'll be leaving it below in the show notes, so if you aren't able to catch that, I'll be leaving it there. So thank you for tuning in, and to Arico, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much for being a guest on Creativity Worth Expressing.
Thanks to you. It was so amazing to exchange with you, and thank you for having me, truly.